So the first thing you're going to notice, this is the new look and feel of the dashboard, that we have a new landing page, new introductory information that gives a nice grounding about the MDI and some key resources to look through. Some other things, we've done some changes to the navigation panel here. So specifically, we mentioned about boundary types that you can search, so you can look at school district and neighborhood level boundaries. I'm going to stay in school district. But we've added a fuzzy search. So if you want to just start typing and see what you can find, you can go ahead and search that way. There's some changes here to the way, the look and feel of how we've shown what grades of data are available across what years. So nice and clear here about what's available. You'll notice that grade 5, 6, and 8 only have data from 2020-2021 school year on, and that's because that was the first year when those grades were able to be collected by school districts. In our first version of the dashboard, the modules that you could explore were below, but now they are above, so you can check them out this way. And so let's dive in. So for example, we're looking at demographics. Let's go to grade 8 students. So the boundary type we're in is school districts. We're looking at all school districts in BC. We're here in grade 8, and you can see that over 16,500 grade 8 students completed an MDI in this school year. It looks at the languages spoken and the participating districts that were involved in grade 8 data collection this year. So this information was previously available, just highlighting it, reminder. You can look at the well-being and asset indices. So here we're in well-being index. We're still in grade 8. We're looking at all the school districts that participated in this map. The darker the color, the higher the thriving rate, the lower the color, the lower the thriving rate. We're seeing the overall picture across all outcomes on the well-being index. So 25.4% of grade 8s thriving on the MDI this year. And then that range in thriving rates across all participating school districts. So we have a school district as low as 13.5% and as high as 37.7% thriving. And then you can see data over time. And note, there's that little slight increase in the last couple of years that Aoife mentioned in her presentation that we're very hopeful about. So I'm just going to hop into a school district. Let's get a little more granular. So let's look at Sunshine Coast. First thing you notice when you pick a school district, that what grades and years that school district specifically participated in show up. So that's helpful to know. What years did they collect this data? So we can see they collected 5, 6, and 8 this school year. Looking at grade 8 still, we can see that for Sunshine Coast, 26.1% of grade 8s were thriving. And that's a little bit higher than this gray line, which is all participating school district average. And then you can see, where does Sunshine Coast fit in that range of all the participating school districts? So it's on the middle upper end of other school districts in terms of thriving rates. And again, that data over time with that little uptick that we're so happy to see. When you scroll down in this module, so we're in the well-being and asset indices. When you scroll down, you can see the components that Ava mentioned for well-being. And then you can explore each of the 4 asset areas that were also mentioned. So here I'm in adult relationships. So this is showing what percentage of students in Sunshine Coast in grade 8 said that they had this asset, so 71.9%. Where do they sit in terms of other school districts reporting on this, and then their data over time. So next thing I'm going to, actually, let's change. I'm going to go to a slightly larger school district. And going back here. So now here we are in Coquitlam. Again, you can see which years did this school district participate. It shows up here nice and clear, so you can click around and switch in between. You can see, again, we're still in grade 8s. We're in this school year that 24.3% of grade 8s were thriving in Coquitlam, where they sit in that range. And what I'm going to draw your attention to up here is the modules. So I want to hop over to Explore Within. So this is the same kind of information that was available before, but now it's a little bit more easy to navigate. But one thing you'll notice is that that's hard map to see. So if you get in this kind of a situation, just use your zoom, zoom, so you can see what you want to see. And what you're noticing here is the thriving rates, so that well-being index. What are the thriving rates across neighborhoods in the school district that you've chosen? In this case, now we're into the neighborhood level data. The gray line represents the school district average. So some neighborhoods have lower thriving rates than that, some have higher. And if you hover over each neighborhood, you can see a bit more information, the percent thriving, along with the number of children that represents. So this was all available before, but this is an exciting new feature. If you are really now keen to know more, I want to know more about town center, you can click on that, and now the whole dashboard has immediately responded to your interest and changed it up. So now you're looking at neighborhood level data. You can now look at this neighborhood's demographics, their indices, their dimensions, which we haven't even got to yet. But this is the lowest, this is the smallest granular look we can have. So neighborhood is the lowest aggregation that's offered, but really exciting. And I'm going to show another exciting feature, which is, so here you are in this neighborhood, but now I want to remind myself, what were the school district rates? You just click back and there you are into the school district. So now what I want to continue to do, I'm going to keep myself in grade 8. We've looked a little bit at intro, at demographic, at the indices, explore within, and now we get to the super exciting place. This is dimensions. This is where all the new measures have been included in the new dashboard. And there's a lot to take in at first. So just to point out some key features. First of all, I want to point out these 2 buttons at the top. If you're looking at something and you don't know what it means, press it, we'll tell you. And these are scattered throughout the dashboard, so you can click away and learn more. Download will allow you to download the exact image that you're looking at. So you can download whole modules, you can download specific charts, and then you can put them into a PowerPoint or a report or send them in an email. So take advantage of that feature. It's a great one. So we have these numbers here to help kind of navigate you. So you're starting with number 1. This is showing what dimensions are available. So we have dimensions, social and emotional development, physical health and well-being, connectedness, and use of out of school time. Then, because there's so much information collected, you can see which items are included in social and emotional development, but also we have sub-measures within this measure. So you can look at these other categories. And what I want to just show you is, let's look at citizenship and social responsibility, because APHA just reported that. And I'll show you a fun feature of this dashboard. So whenever you see, so first of all, we're looking at the question, grade 8's Coquitlam. Children are asked whether they believe they can make a difference in the world. And APHA showed that graph looking at what percentage agree a little or a lot. So here we're seeing across all these answer categories, but you can toggle things on and off. So I'm going to toggle it down so we just have those same 2 answers that Ava showed. So what percent agree at least a little or a lot that they can make a difference? And you see that downward trend that she mentioned. And here we are at the school district level, and you could even look at this at the neighborhood level. So a little snap, this is a water ski, but here's another little exciting one. So here we are in physical health and well-being. So you can look at the various items, including physical activity. So if I mentioned what percentage of grade 8 students are meeting that physical activity guideline of at least an hour a day, you can see for grade 8's 30% were meeting that recommendation in Coquitlam this year. Some other features, there's a lot of different things you could look up. I'm going to hop right down to transportation because we will have Leanne speak later to kind of a municipal perspective. So we know lots of school districts are thinking about this too, active transport. So here we're looking at the question, how do you usually get to school? How do you get home from school? And you can see all the different answers that are an option for a student to report on. So I'm going to stay in this all category. And then it's asking, we're seeing here, how are students getting to school? That's what this category is. And what do you notice? You notice that teal blue color, which is car. So lots of students in Coquitlam traveling to school by car. This lighter color here is walk. So watch what happens. Whenever you see a little arrow like this in the dashboard, it means there's more. So click down and find more. So let's see. So this is how they get to school. Keep it in your mind. And now how do they get from school? So it really balances out. So there's many more students walking home from school. So if they're walking home from school, good chance they could walk to school. So this is the kind of data that you might use to maybe inform some active transportation goals that you would have for the municipality or for the school district. Okay, last thing I'm going to show, even though there's gobs to show, here we are in out of school activity. You can look at organized activities, but you can drop down to see what else is available. Ava talked about screen time. So if you have a particular interest here, you can look there. Let's look at after school places. Again, keeping with this community theme. So this is asking kids, what do you do after school or in your out of school time? What after school places, where do you go after school? So lots of options here. I want to look at stay at school. So here we are, reminder, we're in Coquitlam, we're in grade 8. Again, we have different answer options here. Never, one time a week or 2 or more times. So let's click off never. They never stay at school. And let's look at this data. This feels exciting to me because this shows me that from the pandemic, kids weren't staying at school. They weren't even allowed to stay at school, but that's slowly been building back. Kids are hanging out at school after school. And that could be because there's activities to do or their friends are there. But it to me bodes well for socializing and getting back into the swing of things. And you can do that maybe for after school programs. So let's look at, again, I can switch around between my grades and my years. So let's look at the younger students who are more likely to be involved in an after school or out of school care program. Let's click off never. And you see something kind of similar, that the before COVID rates are higher than now, but there's a little bit of a bump between last year and this year, up this year with how many are saying they're in an after school program.